Hey guys, what's up? Welcome. It's Jesse here. We're going to do a little demonstration for the MagMod Weekly Challenge, but I want to give you a little bit of a backstory to this. For a little while now, even though our kids are huge car fans, especially supercars, my wife's been suggesting that we do this photo shoot using one of their Matchbox cars, try and make it look as real as possible. And, so we've been kind of sitting on this idea and just waiting for the right opportunity. And of course, quarantine really helps give you extra time to kind of make these things happen. But then when MagMod came out with the challenge for this week, which is just, shooting a still life object, but lighting it in a cool way, we thought, wow, this is the opportunity to kind of go for that idea. So I got, one of my sons here, and he's gonna give me one of his cars that we're going to photograph for the demonstration, and we're going to walk you through the setup and how we get from start to finish. So what kind of car do you got for me today, bud?
This is a Lamborghini Revington Roadster.
So the Lamborghini Revington Roadster, pretty slick car, and obviously you're going to see it in the pictures when we put them on to display. Thank you very much, bud. We're going to put that right up here. So let me explain the setup quickly. Well, it's kind of a makeshift rig, if you will. We took my recycling bin from the garage, and I just wanted to elevate so that I can be in a comfortable position to shoot this. Well, it's blue in color, so what I did was I took some black placemats and I lined that along the back and the front so that I wasn't getting any color casts. And also, like, an important part of using the recycling bin was because it would allow me to put a light down and shoot up through. So I'm actually placing one light. It's not going to be this one, but it's a flashpoint zoom lithium ion speed light. It's tucked down in here, and it's got on it a green mag gel, and let me see, a green mag gel, and also a grid. Okay, so we got the gel and the grid. This car has got obviously the colors of the Italian flag going across it, so we wanted to stick with that theme and use a green and a red. So now what this green is actually doing is giving a little bit of an underlight, obviously, to the entire car, but it's also kind of focused in on this area here. And so what we're actually going to do is to create some sort of depth to the image. We're going to use some matches, and we're going to blow smoke across, and that's where I'm going to fire right at that moment where that green is going to backlight the smoke from the matches and going to kind of give us a feel of like exhaust and just, like I said, add an extra layer of depth to the photo. For the background, I've used this is a Westcott reflector. I forgot what the name of it is, but using the black side of it, and we intentionally use this versus like a paper backdrop because this actually has like creases and it's not a perfectly smooth surface. So we're shooting a light from about this position, and I'm using the mag beam with the wide angle lens inserted, as well as the diagonal mag mask, which is this guy here. And there's also a red gel in there as well. So what that's gonna do is gonna shoot some red diagonal lines against this black backdrop, and all the kind of imperfections and the wrinkles and creases are also gonna give a little bit of a textured look to the background. So we're gonna position it in a way that covers the majority of the background as far as my composition goes, but leaves kind of that upper right corner a little bit more black. And that's going to allow the green smoke to kind of pop a little bit more. I didn't want the green and red overlapping for that particular part of the frame. For the key light on the car, we're using an ICANN bicolor LED, and I have that kind of positioned in a way so I can get full coverage of light on the front. I'm using also the glass, this piece of glass here in the front, to sneak in reflection. And that's real life with the dogs barking because of a horn outside. All right, and we're back. So the red light to the black backdrop with those designs and the lines, the green light from underneath and the key light being this LED, again, angled, so I don't really get any reflections. I want to keep this top, it is kind of, you know, the windows here are a little translucent. We do want to keep that from getting too much reflections. So I'm hoping that that's going to photograph pretty black because we're not letting any light reflect into the camera. Now I was experimenting also earlier with water, putting some water down on the glass in front. Not quite sure if that's going to add enough of a difference, but we can do that again as part of the demonstration. And as I take the pictures, I'll put on the screen the images of each light individually and then all together. Obviously, you're going to see that when we start doing the matches and everything, but I'll take a shot and then just the image is going to follow right after. So first I'll go ahead and I'll take, let me tell you first just about the camera that we're using for this. This is the Nikon D750. It's one of my older DSLRs, but it is allowing me to use my macro that I have. I have a 60 millimeter macro, so I am going to be fairly close to this. Settings wise, I am at 1/200th of a second. I did have to raise my ISO a bit, mainly because of the light here, like to proper balance, to get a proper exposure here. I am a little higher and also wanted to step down as much as possible. So because I'm at a 200th of a second f13, in order for the car to be properly exposed, I needed to raise my ISO up to 1,000. So that doesn't bother me at all. 1,000 ISO is totally fine. That gives me an exposure on the car. And as far as my lights go, I'll let you know that power-wise, we're going to be both lights, the one inside the recycling bin and the one that's going to be here is set at 1/8 power. So again, I'll take a quick shot of just the car on its own with the key light. And you'll be able to see that on the screen there. I keep hitting my head against this light. We got tight quarters here. Now I'll flip on the light that's inside the bin, and that is going to be set to group A. So I'm going to turn off B. On top here, I'm using the Flashpoint R2 Pro trigger. Let's do a quick test. Okay. Perfect. So I'll let you see what that image looks like for just a few seconds. I'm going to turn off in the meantime the light that's inside the recycle bin, and I'm going to turn on our light that we're using for the background. And I'm going to hold that on my own here. All right, perfect. So it won't be exactly as I'm going to want it in my composition, but you'll get a feel for how we want that to look. And now I'm going to turn on both lights plus our key light, but this is without any smoke. All right, perfect. So now we're ready. We're going to bring in my lovely, lovely wife. She's going to come in and help us with the matches and all that good stuff. And actually, before we do that, I'll sprinkle a little bit of water just across the glass here, and I do want to be careful because if my flash is inside that bin. Okay, leave it there. Let's see. Hold on. One more shot. Just the water here, and we'll see if we can tell if there's any difference. Yeah, I mean, it adds a little bit of flavor. I can't tell what I like better. So to be honest, I'm going to kind of dry it up a little bit. Instead of letting it puddle, I'm going to let it streak across. All right. Do one more shot here. Awesome. All right, so now we'll bring in the smoke for effect. And of course, there's a lot of different ways you can create your own little smoke effects, but this is how we roll. 1 second. Let's make sure again. Okay. And the key is to try and drop the matches right behind the car, let it kind of go out on its own. We'll fire off a couple different frames. Now it's going to take trial and error for sure when you're working with things like that. We've got about a dozen matches already that we were using from when we were playing before. So we're going to take a few more frames. We'll post, I'll put up on the video our favorite one out of the bunch. But the key here is just have fun, be safe, of course, if you're using matches. I would not have my kids helping me on this part. Push it in a little bit further this time, towards the back. All right. Oh, I think that was a pretty good one. Yeah, there's a couple of really good shots in that one. So I'll put those up on the screen for you guys to see. It's a fun little experiment. I really thank a group like MagMod putting these weekly challenges together, because it gets me, it forces me to pick up the camera. Sometimes I just need a little extra motivation during times like this, and have fun with something that I know my kids are gonna love. They're gonna want a picture. They're gonna want me to print it out and hang it up in their room, right?
What does he say?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What do you say?
Go Italy!
Go Italy, yeah. I look forward to seeing everyone else's submissions. Those of you who are in the MagMod community, putting your submissions on Instagram and Facebook. I always love checking those out. Hope you enjoyed following along, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Be safe. And you got anything to say, bud? No? All right, that's it. You heard it from him. See you guys later. Bye.